Welcome to 4.7, where we're going to solve some equations that have fractions in them. So the first one I'm going to do is x plus 8 over 3 equals negative 5 over 3. So these both have common denominators here. So it's going to be just like what we did before, where this is a plus sign, so I'm going to subtract 8 over 3 from both sides. So now 8 over 3 minus 8 over 3 is 0, so I'm just left with x equals, and I have negative 5 minus 8, or negative 13 over 3. And here, we can just leave it as an improper fraction. Okay, next is 5 over 8. X equals 15. So I'm multiplying by 5 over 8 here. So when I have a fraction times a variable, I can just multiply both sides by the reciprocal, have it be 8 over 5 times 8 over 5, because what I'm really doing is dividing both of them by 5 over 8, but if you remember, when you're dividing, what you do is you flip the second fraction and you turn it into multiplication. So these will cross out because 8 divided by 8 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I'm left with x equals, the 5 will go into 15 3 times, and 3 times 8 is 24. If I want to check this, I can do 5 over 8 times 24, and does that equal 15? 8 into 24 is 3, times 5 is 15, so we got that one right. Next, let's say we have x minus 7 over 1 equals 6 over 1. And there's one like this in your homework, which is weird to me, because normally you don't need to have anything over 1. So I'm just going to add 7 over 1 to both sides. I'm going to get x equals 13 over 1. But now it does want you to put the answer as 13. So the one in the homework like this is kind of confusing. So just make sure that if you get it over 1, your answer, then get rid of the 1 and just put the whole number. Next, let's say we have 4 over 9x equals 4 over 5. So again, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 9 over 4 to both sides. These cancel. We have x equals, and here we have 4 and 4, so those will cancel. So I'm left with 9 on top and 5 on bottom, and that's it. Next, let's say we have x plus 11 over 4 equals negative 3 over 4. So I'm going to subtract 11 over 4 from both sides. I'm going to get x equals negative 3 minus 11 is negative 14 over 4. But now I do have to simplify. I can divide both 14 and 4 by 2. So I'll have negative 7 over 2. Next, let's say we have x over 3 equals negative 12. So here, this is the same as saying 1/3 times x. But this one is actually a little bit easier because we're dividing by 3. The opposite of dividing is multiplying, so just multiply both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we're left with x equals negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. If we wanted to check that, we put the negative 36 in for x. Negative 36 divided by 3 is going to be negative 12, so we got that right. Next, let's say we have 5 over 8x equals 8. Okay, so we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of what's next to the x, and that's 8 over 5 times 8 over 5. These cancel. We have x equals 8 times 8 is 64 over 5. And here, we can just leave it like that. Okay, next, let's say we have x minus 2 over 6 equals negative 3 over 3. And I don't know why they have ones like this where it's negative 3 over 3, which is just 1. But what we want to do is get rid of all of our fractions. So we have a 6 here and a 3 here. So we're going to multiply everything by the least common multiple, which is 6. And we're going to multiply everything by that. So 6 and 6. So 6 times x is 6x. And here we have a minus. 6 divided by 6 is 1 times negative 2. So it's just negative 2 equals 6 divided by 3 is 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. This one I think is a bit weird to do. This is a concept that you do mainly in the next class where we get rid of fractions first. I don't think you can have too many of these, so don't worry about them too much. But now we have kind of a problem that we've done before, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I'm going to have 6x equals negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Divide both sides by 6. These 6's cancel. We get x equals. We can divide both the negative 4 and the 6 by 2. So we get negative 2 over 3. So another way that you could possibly do this one is like this. I'm going to go back to the original. And I'm just going to add the 2 over 6 to both sides. So I have x equals negative 3 over 3 plus 2 over 6. So here I need to have 6 in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2. I'm going to have x equals negative 6 over 6 plus 2 over 6. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4, and it's over 6. And then this reduces to negative 2 over 3. For the ones in this class, this may be easier for you to just do it like this, where you keep them all as fractions. But the other way is what you'll learn in future sections. So the next ones are going to be some more areas, where we have 8 for our height and 8 for our base. And if you remember, area equals 1/2 times base times height. So this is 1/2 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Divided by 2 is 32. And again, it doesn't matter if you wanted to do 1/2 times 8, which is 4 times 8, which is 32. Another triangle. Let's say we have the height is 4 and the base is 5. So it's 1/2 times 5 times 4. Now here, 5 times 4 is 20, divided by 2 is 10, or 1/2 of 4 is 2 times 5 is 10. However you want to do that. And then next, we have, let's see, of an equation that they'll give is P equals 13 plus 5D over 12, where P equals pounds per square foot and D equals depth. And they're asking you if something has, if the pressure is, this is a pressure, is 333 pounds per square foot, how deep? Okay, so we know what our P is, and that's 333 equals 13 plus 5D over 12. Now this one gets kind of complicated, so what we're going to do is work away from the D first, so we're going to subtract the 13 from both sides. And we're going to have 320 equals 5D over 12. And again, this is now it's just 5/12 D, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 12 over 5. 12 over 5. That will cancel, so we're going to get D equals, and now 5 will go into 32, or 320, 64 times, and 64 times 12 is 768. What you could here do, you're not going to have ones like this on the test, so just do 12 times 320 divided by 5 if you want, or you can just work it all out. And that is it for 4.7.